Born of your childhood fears, Little Nightmares is unparalleled in its ability to both terrify and delight. Bringing you up close and personal with the monsters lurking under your bed, this macabre puzzle platformer from Bandai Namco is as captivating as it is grotesque. Initially deterred by its horrific presentation, it wasn't long before I found myself warming to its charms. Little Nightmares somehow made me adore its melancholic world, whilst giving me every excuse to escape it. From the moment I set off into the inky black depths carrying nothing but a lighter and a charming yellow raincoat, I was entranced, observing the soft glow of my flame as it flickered and danced around the environment, creating a waltz between shadow and light. Approaching the world with a childlike curiosity is almost an integral part of the game. With cutscenes and dialogue being intentionally absent, it instead delivers its tale of woe via your surroundings, as you journey ever closer to the surface of the moor. This lends itself to a much more organic method of storytelling, making sure you are only ever as informed as our pocket-sized protagonist, Six. Awoken by a vision, Six finds herself imprisoned in the lower levels of the moor, a steam-powered submersible in which the entire game takes place. You'll have to pluck up all the courage you can muster and ascend from the horrors of the deep in order to uncover its true and twisted intent. Taking such a light-handed approach with its narrative could see a few of its intricacies lost on the player, but it's a setting that begs to be held up to close inspection, urging you to explore every nook and cranny and immerse yourself in its wretched world. Where these childish motifs are most apparent though, are in the playful nature of your interactions, with your main abilities consisting of grabbing, climbing, sneaking, and throwing. Having previously worked on Sackboy's PlayStation Vita outing, Tarsier Studios are playing to their strengths here, as the core gameplay loop in their titles has you utilising fairly mundane actions in an increasingly creative fashion. Puzzles and some light platforming form the crux of the busy work in Little Nightmares, but as its namesake suggests, they are far from a peaceful affair. The hideously warped denizens of the moor up the ante considerably, creating a palpable tension as you attempt to hatch your escape, whilst avoiding the reach of their elongated limbs and folds of festering flesh. It's unfortunate then that during particularly stressful sequences, there's a tendency for them to buckle under the weight of their own ambition. Your means of escape aren't always apparent at first glance, and the subsequent efforts greatly reduce the tension. This is made worse by the occasionally clumsy controls and poor positioning of the camera. It looks fantastic from an aesthetic approach, but is entirely useless when judging a 3D space from a side-on perspective. However, I do have to give credit to the controls for the inclusion of Six's heartbeat vibrating through the controller. Feeling it pick up pace in tandem with your own is a brilliant addition and further binds you together as you sense her fears and vulnerabilities. Tobias Lillia's musical accompaniment spellbinds, weaving its way around the soundscape and regularly becoming a part of your immediate surroundings. Throaty instrumentals blend seamlessly with the distant screech of metal on concrete as you ascend from the prison, whilst thumping trombones accentuate the rasping breaths of the cook, matching their struggling tempo. When the intensity eventually crescendos, it leaves the patter of bare feet and drip of a leaking pipe in its wake, unafraid to share the spotlight with more subtle elements of its sound design. Nowhere is this downtime used more effectively than in the floorboard creaking encounters with the janitor, a blind creature that relies on your missteps in order to locate you. It's a standout moment for the game and acts as a confident display of its audio offerings. Little Nightmares is currently available for PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch, with a complete edition made available after launch that contains the Season Pass DLC. The DLC almost doubles the amount of content in the game, adding 3 additional chapters. It sees you playing as another unfortunate as they attempt to make their own escape from the bowels of the moor, and offers a new and heartbreaking perspective on Six's somber journey. This is a much more puzzle-based experience than the main campaign, but one with a spectacular payoff, well worth the price of admission. I recommend you pick up the complete edition if you can, but know that the base game is an equally strong offering on its own. Physical copies of the base game have since seen a hike in price, so digital is the way to go here. It can regularly be found on sale on Xbox, PlayStation and PC for around £4 or $5, whilst the complete edition is best bought physically for PlayStation, Xbox and Switch, with PlayStation and Xbox versions priced around £15 or $20, and Switch on average costing you £25 or $30. Tarsier Studios combine finely crafted horror with an irresistible ambience that makes it impossible to look away. Some trial and error and occasionally unwieldy controls unfortunately mark the game down a few pegs, though not enough to falter my love for this game. The synergy between its audio components is quite simply magical, and the playful nature at the heart of its gameplay meshes uncomfortably with the adult themes. By all means, make your exit from its clutches a swift one, but make sure to savour every grisly morsel along the way.